Hallo, hoe gaat het?
Hallo, hoe gaat het?
One more time. Hello, it is Alexis and Lilian. We have some news. We have decided that we are going to move back to Europe, but to Amsterdam this time. So this is gonna be our third move together as a couple. First one was Copenhagen to Berlin, then Berlin to Toronto, now Toronto to Amsterdam, and we thought we'd share you along the process, so kind of how do you prepare for this and have you be there at the different parts of our moving process. All of this during a pandemic, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Come along for the ride and see how it's gonna be. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of ups, gonna be a lot of downs, but we're gonna make it happen.
Goed, dank je.
Goed, dank je.
Why we move into Amsterdam?
We have been wanting to actually move to Amsterdam for like a while, and we figured, why not do it now when there's a global pandemic?
Yeah, so Toronto was actually always an intermediate plan. We wanted to come here to, you know, like figure out our career goals, network, play in a band and all that stuff that now we can't do because of COVID. And, you know, see all the friends that we have here, which we also can't do. And now we're getting kicked out of our apartment here, so we thought, why go through the struggle of finding a place in Toronto again when we can just do the step to Amsterdam earlier. I also want to just be closer to my family. I haven't seen them in a really long time. Yeah, so that's pretty much the reason why, but why we chose Amsterdam is because my favorite city is still Copenhagen. We also love Berlin, but I don't want to go back there. So Amsterdam we thought would be like kind of
happy medium.
Exactly. Copenhagen's more on the too small side. Amsterdam's a bit bigger than that, more metropolitan. It has better nightlife than Copenhagen, but Amsterdam also has like the coziness and the prettiness and like that you can explore everything by bike and the canals and stuff that Copenhagen has.
But yeah, we're super excited. I just want to throw out there that we're going to be taking all of the extra measures before flying, obviously getting a COVID test, self-isolating.
You need to, yeah, you need to now take double test, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like we are like going to be doing that. Like don't think that we're going to just be being super irresponsible.
Obviously it's not our first choice to be doing this during a pandemic, but you know, it's also not our first choice to be getting kicked out of this house during a pandemic. So yeah, you gotta deal with what's being thrown at you. But how do you feel about moving?
It's always a lot to pack up your whole life and then move, especially to like a totally different continent. I feel worried, I feel nervous, but I also feel like super excited, and just I like the feeling of the unknown, that like exciting unknown. The one where you're like, okay, like who am I gonna meet? Like where's my new like favorite coffee shop gonna be? Like falling in love with little streets. It's just I'm missing that spark in Toronto.
Right, having like a new playground to explore in a way.
Yeah.
It is also nerve-wracking because A, we're not gonna know that many people there. I'm most worried about the whole like job situation because it's expensive and we need to figure out the whole visa thing first, and Alexa's gonna need to find a job there, yada yada, but I know we'll figure it out somehow.
Yeah, it always seems to work itself out in the end.
It's always so hard to find an apartment in like whatever city we're moving to. Amsterdam is just like crazy. Like it seems like you can't find a decent place in the center for less than 1,500 euros, and like a nicer place more like 1,700 euros, and I think that's insane, but
it's what it is.
Another challenge is going to be flying with Miso.
Yeah,
we've started crate training her, so we are crate training Miso at the moment because she's gonna need to be in this big crate on the plane. So right now she's pretty comfortable in there. We're just trying to let her in there for small amounts of time, give her treats and chews and stuff like that so that she enjoys being in there. But of course she loves being outside of it more than being in there. You like it? Okay. Are you gonna be okay on the plane? Come on now.
Next one.
Hoe gaat het? Goed, dank je.
Oh god.
Hoe gaat het? Goed, dank je.
Ik ben een vrouw.
Ich bin een vrouw.
Nee, that's German.
Ik
Ik ben een vrouw.
Ik ben een vrouw.
Een vrouw. Ik ben een vrouw.
No, you didn't. That's not.
Ik ben een vrouw.
Ik ben een vrouw.
Oh. Oh. She's pretty edgy. That haircut. The Dutch would understand me. We're doing a little mini update. I look like half asleep. That's okay. We're selling all of our things. Stress levels are, you know, about like here. Not here just yet. Just about there.
The Netherlands has an entry ban, so this one wouldn't be able to get in. So we're gonna move into a sublet and just gonna stick it out, I guess.
For 1 month. That's it.
Until then, all we can do is wait.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Ready for the move?
No.
So the day has come and we are getting to leave this beautiful apartment.
Yes, it's bittersweet. We're excited to have new adventures, but it's also sad to close this chapter.
And especially because we have to move into an Airbnb.
Yeah, that's fun.
So here's all the stuff that we've packed up, and here we're still waiting for things to be picked up.
So we're selling our couch. I really love this couch. It's like a modern mid-century teak couch, and yeah, I don't know. I just really like it, so it's hard to let it go. It's fine. This is, yeah, how life goes. You open chapters and close chapters, so the next one I'm looking forward to it because the end destination is Amsterdam, and you always have to keep that in mind of, yeah, the end goal. So that's what I'm doing.
So quick update, because of the current entry ban and entry restrictions because of COVID, we weren't sure if they would let Alexis in. So we had to delay it by a month and we weren't able to stay in our place anymore. So we had to find an Airbnb. Now we're in Airbnb, which is not as advertised. Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
There's mice traps everywhere. There's mice poo. There's cracks in the ceiling. And
there is a dead mouse in a mouse trap.
The sink is like fully broken off. I'm just like, what the heck? I'm happy we have a roof over our head, but if you're an Airbnb host, just don't false advertise.
But the good news is that we finally booked our flight. We figured out that Alexis would be let in because I'm an EU citizen and we've been in a long-term relationship.
Have we?
Maybe, but we need to prove it, so we're like, oh, I think we should be fine with proving it.
It's been real stressful times.
All right.
Cheers.
All right, so if you're wondering what exactly is involved when you're making a move abroad like this, we're gonna break it down for you. So first thing you're gonna need is, of course, your passport. So if you don't have that or if it's expiring, get that sorted out first. The second thing that you need to check is, do you need a visa to work and live in this country? We're moving to the Netherlands, which is part of the European Union, so I, as a German citizen, don't need a visa.
For me, I need a visa, so I applied for a working holiday visa and got that granted, so woohoo!
The next thing you'll need to look into is, of course, housing. And that's always one of the most challenging aspects. The best way to go about it usually is to find a sublet first. Then you can just find a place for 1 month or 2, and then while you're there, you can go to viewings and find the right place for you. So that's what we're gonna be doing for Amsterdam.
Another thing to, of course, consider is the city that you're moving to. What language do they speak? Do they speak any of the languages that you speak? Thankfully, Amsterdam is pretty good with their English.
Neither of us speak Dutch, so we've already been Duolingoing.
Ooh.
Dankjewel, tot ziens. We're doing well. Obviously, finding a job is gonna be important. We were lucky because actually my job that I have here let me transfer over to Amsterdam. They're just gonna switch me over to a Dutch contract and then I'll be able to just continue my job there with a different time zone, but
pay.
That's the price you gotta pay.
So the next one is, of course, wrap up your life. Wherever you are now, sell your things, become a minimalist. It will help. And yeah, just get ready for the big move. So, of course, traveling or moving somewhere during COVID-19 is a whole other story.
So for the Netherlands, you need 2 negative COVID tests. One has to be taken within 72 hours. The other one is a rapid test that needs to be taken within 4 hours of your flight departure. Then you need a negative test declaration that you just fill out. Then you need a health declaration, which is another thing that you fill out. And then the toughest thing is that there is an entry ban to pretty much anyone who is not an EU national. There are a few exemption categories though.
So one of the exemptions is that an EU citizen can travel with one of their family members. So what that means is that you have to be living with this person for at least 6 months. Another thing is you have to prove your relationship with them. So for Lilian and I, we are able to go because we've been in a long-term relationship. We can prove that. We have this folder. We have different leases for apartments that we've shared together. And then we also have like pictures and letters dating back to like when we first started talking. Yeah, so we hope that it all works out.
Wish us luck. Of course, we'll need to self-isolate for 10 days. In the Netherlands, after 5 days, you can get a test, and if that's negative, then you can also break out of the quarantine a few days earlier. Hopefully that's all gonna go well.
Yes.
With the dog, which brings us to the next category is if you are moving, flying with a dog.
This is a whole other piece of the cake. So the first thing that you need to do is obviously get your dog very comfortable with its crate. So we've been doing this for the past like what, 2 months now. She really likes her crate now, and yeah, she always just goes in there by herself and hangs out for a bit. So I feel like that has really, made me feel more comfortable about leaving her in there for so long.
That should give you a pretty good idea of all the different steps that are involved. And we are planning on vlogging this when we're actually doing it. Depending on how it goes and the stress levels involved, which are probably gonna be pretty high. But yeah, so we can't promise anything, but we will try to do that.
I can see it being a lot of stress, a lot of sweat, a lot of freaking out.
Yeah, because there's a lot of steps where it could potentially go wrong, you know? Oops, actually you're tested positive for COVID. Oh, actually your dog is too fat. Oh, we don't believe that you're in a relationship. Well,
oh my God, like we want us to make out right now? We'll do it. Thank you for watching. We always appreciate it very, very much. And stay tuned for the next one.
Sweating at the airport. Cheers.
Cheers.